There was a lady who rushed to the doctor one day and was crying. "My whole body is in pain, doctor. Please help me, please." And the doctor asked her, "Where do you have pain? Show me." So the woman, she poked her ankle and screamed of pain. And then she poked her knee and then she yelled, "Ow!" And then she poked her forehead and then she screamed again. She was about to continue to show the doctor. And then the doctor said, "That's enough. Let me think this over." He thought for about a minute and then he said, "I think I know what is your problem." She said, "Isn't it that I have problem everywhere in my body?" And the doctor said, "No, you broke your finger." This is the situation I have been facing with so many of my clients. Point is this: if the mind is broken, everything in life looks broken. If you can fix your mind, then everything will fall in place. A lot of times when people come to me for astrological consultation, they're not really willing to take up responsibility for their own life. They don't actually want permanent happiness. They're just trying to fix that pain they're facing. They're not willing to understand why the pain is there. They're not wanting to go and see the real cause of the pain. They don't want to even know where the pain is actually coming from. They just want to remove the pain. But in order to understand Vedic astrology, there needs to be a proper understanding of Vedic principles. Otherwise, astrology becomes another ology, and then it fails to give meaningful answers to life's dilemmas. And time and again, I have seen people often have faith and they depend on material objects such as amulets, stones, talismans, etc. to cure different kinds of problems. But when we're actually experiencing pain in life, be it psychological, be it emotional, be it physical, the real reason is it is due to the subconscious mind being unbalanced and weak. Because any type of suffering we are undergoing is due to our karma. And it is indicating that we have some specific lesson to learn in that area. Yet, people fail to understand this. And we run after quick remedies, not realizing that only a change in our consciousness and actions can bring happiness to us. And one of the very, very popular and common remedies is to wear precious stones or semi-precious stones like rubies, diamonds, emeralds. People often try this remedy as it is very easy because you pay some money to somebody, get the ring made, wear it and forget it. See, the point is these stones have value. They radiate some unique energy which might help if we are in proper consciousness. However, stones cannot change your karma that is accumulated over thousands of lifetimes. Because a psychologist might give you some advice for romantic relationships, but cannot delete the 10 times you cheated on a partner before. Or a stone cannot give you good energy to erase the karma. The only guarantee you have wearing a gemstone is that you will become target for thieves. Because the more expensive your gemstone is, you may have actually thieves behind it. So my point is this: before deciding to wear precious stones, it's wise to understand the theories of using stones as remedies. For example, the purpose of wearing a yellow sapphire. Yellow sapphire is a Jupiter stone, and Jupiter represents commitment, loyalty, faith, trust. So someone having problems to stick in a relationship or in a job may be recommended to wear an yellow sapphire. Why? Not so that the job changes or the relation you are in, the person changes, but rather that you change, that you can become more loyal, you can become more faithful, more committed, more trustworthy. So after wearing this yellow sapphire, if you expect that the relationship will change because the other person will start acting like you want, or that the boss will start behaving the way you want or will respect you more, that's not very wise. Because the idea of the Jupiter planet, the yellow sapphire, is to make you become more patient, to make you tolerate the situations and become more adaptable, not that the other people will change. And this fact is missed by a lot of people. The fact that you had the trust and the faith to buy that stone which costs thousands of rupees or whatever, it represents that you do have faith. So the point of Vedic astrology is to help individuals develop higher and higher and higher faith every time. You shouldn't get stuck just with a faith on a stone, but rather get faith, increase your faith in God, increase your faith in your higher self, and start to behave in ways that are in harmony with universal principles, so you can become happier. Otherwise, there is no end to wear red stone and blue stone and yellow stone for this and that, and wearing all kinds of stones and expecting that your life will change. The point is that your consciousness should change. So there are different levels in Vedic astrology, and the level of wearing stones is for those who have yet to develop faith in God. So therefore, it begins with the stones, with demigods, etc. But if you can have faith in Bhagavad-gita, in Srimad Bhagavatam, in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in the spiritual master, that is much higher than the faith in the stones and demigods, obviously. See, even technically speaking, Vedic astrology has two theories about gemstones. One theory is called Anukulavad, or wearing stones of favorable planets. And this theory, it states that if one has a problem with a specific planet, like Mars say, then one should not wear that stone of the problematic planet. Like the stone for Mars is coral, because in that theory, if you wear coral and your Mars is having a problem, it may strengthen the planet's bad effects. So it's recommended to wear another gemstone that would strengthen the positive planets in the chart. The second is Pratikulavad. That theory states exactly the opposite. For example, if one has a weak Mercury, one should wear its stone, emerald, which will filter out the negative energy of Mercury, and it will allow its positive aspect to work on the wearer. So which theory should you believe? Whatever one's point of view is, it is certain that not even the most powerful stone can change our desires or samskaras, because that needs to be done consciously. While at each moment we are being bombarded with more impressions and desires, and the real problem is that we are caught up in the thoughts and behaviors we have been accumulating for thousands of lifetimes. It's like, imagine your mind to be like a big coffee mug filled with old coffee from a few days ago, or maybe last week. What will happen if you keep adding more water to it? Will you have a sensational latte? No. First you need to throw out the old coffee, wash the cup nicely, and then you put fresh coffee. Similarly, if a person wants his mind and intelligence to reach its highest potential, then first he needs to clean the mind. Because the subconscious mind is the center of everything. So when the mind is cleansed, then it's easier to connect with a higher source. And then the mind's potential can be reached. And once the mind's potential is reached, every other area of life also automatically gets activated. So the point is, mystical objects and stones cannot save us from our karma. Because we live in a time when there is endless attacks on our spiritual progress from different directions. And if we want to progress, we have to grasp that it's our consciousness which changes our destiny. And we must work towards improving, protecting, and enhancing our consciousness and improving it. And when we follow a genuine spiritual practice that empowers us and gives us spiritual perspective, then we get connected to the universe in a very unique way. And the universe is the macrocosm, and you are the microcosm. So in this particular course that you're taking of Astro-Gita, I'm going to tell you in a very simple way a condensed essence of the Vedic astrology of your specific chart. I'll give you the specific description of your specific planet's position and the nakshatras involved. In other words, I am going to tell you about remedies and antidotes to the standard psychological hurdles we all face, but you in specific, because this is a specific course which is meant to give you materials based on your astrological positions. So you can actually utilize this remedy we are going to give you on a daily basis, basically at no cost, or rather only cost of being open-minded to dimensions of mercy and open to grow beyond petty limitations and conditionings. So be open to discover more about yourselves and find that place in the universe. This is a very complex universe, and there are many stars, and these stars have specific divine personalities ruling them. So if you understand the position of your star and understand the relationship of your star with the deity ruling that star, you can get great deep insights about your karma, about your personality. No astrologer with no amount of time can help you get insights about you as much as you can get by prayerfully, sincerely taking a deep look into your heart, into your life, and into your karma. I've had to answer a lot of people who come and ask for remedies, and different answers only confuse people more and more. The more number of astrologers you go to, the more confused you tend to become. One thing I have seen, one common tendency in most people when they approach astrology, remedies, stones is this. I'll tell you this story. A young woman, she was traveling by train with her son. The son was 7 years old. They were going to a festival, wonderful festival. It was called Kumbh Mela. I'm sure you must have heard about it. And the boy, as soon as they arrived at the holy place, he started to ask his mom where he could go and answer the nature's call. And the mother was very embarrassed because she saw all the saints and sadhus close by, and it was a very sacred festival. And it was still dawn time, so she took a side path and then let the boy do his business. Then the lady, being very cultured and sensitive person, she covered the business that he did with mud and sand. But to her surprise, the bad odor still was there, still around. So she was finding herself in an awkward situation, so she decided to light some incense to disguise the smell. But then she realized that the incense will very quickly finish, right? So she didn't want to disturb other people with the awful smell, all the pilgrims who had come there. So she brought one very fragrant garland and she placed it over that heap of mud. And then with the hope that it will ward off the smell, she and the son left. So then the other pilgrims were coming on the way. They saw this wonderfully garlanded lump of mud with incense burning. They assumed that this must be a holy spot of worship. So they offered more garlands, more lamps, more colorful clothes around it. So after a while, more pilgrims came. Seeing how popular this space was becoming, then somebody decided to build a small temple. And as the place became more and more popular, a very rich man, he decided to build a big marble temple, which later became famous and popular place of worship. The pilgrims and the rich man all had good intentions, but they had failed to inquire properly to know the significance of this quote-unquote holy site. So they all wanted blessings. So they all ended up worshipping stool. So in a similar way, many people in desperate need for help seek easy solutions or remedies for problems in their life. And without understanding the root cause of their problems or proper inquiry, they follow some public trend or mystical fashion and follow some astrologer blindly. Thus, people end up worshipping who knows what. And they have full faith that it will bring them blessings. Some psychological effect will be there, feeling good for a moment. But if you really take a look at reality, we need to place our faith in the right places. So every person who comes for an astrological reading, every person who wants to talk to me, I would like them to understand these concepts first before they are approaching Vedic astrology. Because Vedic astrology can give us a lot, but we need to have the right pot to receive the right mercy. So thank you very much for your openness. I hope you will enjoy the insights you will receive.